Hello everyone. There is a particular problem these Mk5 Mondeos seem to be having more and more. This problem is long overdue and I should have fixed it a bloody long time ago, but I've never actually got round to doing it. I've got close but haven't done it yet, so today we're going to fix it. I shan't be showing much because it's difficult to actually show you, but I'm going to, after you see the video, you'll kind of know what to do. What the problem is, Mk5 Mondeo, this is all to do with the climate control. This is the kind of situation you're going to get. You will have hot air, say on your driver's side air vents, cold air on your passenger side air vents, and you're unable, using the controls, either using the touch screen or the physical buttons on your heater control, to change them settings. It will stay hot on the driver's side and stay cold on the passenger side, and you can't do nothing about it. So there was a little while ago, I actually went into this and I tried to find the problem, and as I was looking up the side of the heater box on the driver's side, there's a motor up there and there's another motor on the passenger side. I found that the motor on the passenger side of the dash, on the heater box, actually controls your distribution from the screen to the vents and to the ground, whereas the driver's side motor actually does your hot and cold, does your heat distribution, so as to speak. So, but I never actually got to changing the motor. My mate's actually going to be changing it, but when he's got it stripped out, I'm going to show you the motor on this car and what the problem is. It's basically the motor's died, but just so you know where it is and how you get to it to change it, which is not exactly straightforward, although it's not the worst job in the world. So anyway, I'm going to get inside this car now and give you a quick sort of like glimpse of what we're dealing with. I shall explain what's exactly going on here with this particular car. So these Mk5 Mondeos, they have what's called climate control. It's a more advanced form of air conditioning, whereas you can set the temperature from the passenger side different to that of the driver's side. On this particular car, the problem is, out of the driver's side, like if I put the air to the face vents, I'm getting hot air continually out of the face vents, this one here by the door and this one here in the centre. The passenger side, I'm only getting cold air, and if I use the control here to do hot to cold and put it fully to hot, it's only getting cold air. So no matter what I do, I cannot get any hot air out of the passenger side air vents or the screen. So, but this side is hot all the time. I can't make the driver's side cold, which is a bit of a problem. So, like I said, I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but we've finally got to the point where we're going to do this car and we're going to fix it. So, I have taken, I'll show you exactly what it is in a minute, but I've had to take the steering column out of the car, which is fairly easy by the way. And the part I need to get to is on the side of the driver's side of the heater. So I've also had to take the clutch pedal box out. Now I've made videos sort of like a roundabout way showing how these come out, so I'll link them here anyway, so you can watch them if you have to go down the route and do this yourself and you don't know how to do it, then my videos might be of a little bit of help. Right, I'm coming through where the steering column would have been, and you see just up here, this is why you have to have the clutch pedal box out of the way, because otherwise it's just too tight in there. There's an electric motor. You unplug the wiring connector and there's two little screws. I'll show you these screws in a minute. This motor then comes off. It's got a little link bar that goes off the bottom of it, so you'll see the link that goes onto it. I've already unbolted this and I'll take this motor out, but you see that there, it connects onto this, and the motor moves this flap, which obviously moves your hot to cold. I'm just going to point this out because it might not be exactly clear. When you come to refitting the new motor, you'll notice you've got this groove here and there's a little pin on that lever on the heater box that fits into this groove. That's straightforward. When you bolt this back on, that pin will automatically line up in this groove. But there's another pin just here, and that goes into another little lever with a groove in it. But this other lever might not be in the right place, so I guess it's possible that you could put this on and miss this other lever. So I'm just going to try and show it in here. There's the first one, there's the pin there, and this one here, see that, that's another lever doing a flap as well. So make sure that the pin on that motor dogs into the groove in this lever when you're refitting that, and hopefully that will be it. You won't have no problems after that. And the screws we're looking at are these here. They're 5.5mm, or there's a little Torx bit in the actual middle of the screw, so it's about, I don't know, Torx 20, something like that. We're in the process of just putting this back together. I've just connected the steering column up because when everything's back in, I'm not really going to be able to show you this motor working. But the ignition is on, and I'm just going to show this motor working now. Steve's going to press the hot and cold up and down, so if you do that, then we'll see it going. Right, if you put it back down to cold again, and there we go. So that's hot and cold, and that's the motor working now. The other motor was completely dead, it had just died. So now we'll bolt this motor back onto the heater box and connect the links up, and that should be it. We'll have a working heater. Okay then, we're all back together. I have just fitted a pollen filter, which involves removing the glove box and this passenger side vent, as there wasn't much air coming out of these vents, and I took the pollen filter out and it is flipping well blocked. I'll show you it in a minute. Anyway, I've got the heater set to high, so I've got nice warm air coming out the passenger vent and out of the driver's side vent and the end vent, so that's good. That's all nice and hot. So if I take my temperature, if I take them both down, I will bring them both down to very low. Da, da, da. Come on. Yep, and now we've got cold air coming out of both vents. So as you know, on these climate control systems, I can set the passenger side temperature different to that of the driver's side temperature. But anyway, it's all working perfectly fine now. We're not getting hot air coming out of one vent and cold air coming out of the other when it's supposed to be hot coming out of both. So that's great. So that's all done and sorted. So that's it. Job bloody well done. I'm glad that's done, because that was one of my pet hates, this particular problem, and it was one of these jobs that I really wanted to get to the bottom of and fix, because there's quite a few of these taxis that need doing actually, and I know that there's numerous people that have messaged me over the last few years asking about this problem, and I couldn't really give them a specific answer because I'd never fixed it myself. Now I've done it, well, now this is why I'm putting the video out, so now you'll know. And well, what else can I say? That's another one ticked off the box. Anyway, the sun's coming out and I have to go back to work, so clutch job to do next. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Hope it helps in some way, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.